Welcome back to Reality Talks with Terrence, where we don't pick sides, we pick reality. And the reality is this. I want to give you guys game on one of the most easiest ways to become successful. This way doesn't take tons of money. This way doesn't take a team of people. This way doesn't take going to school for 4 and 8 and 12 years, right? This is one of the most simplest ways to become successful. This is one of the keys to becoming successful. And that key is learning from other people's mistakes. Yeah, that's right. Learning from those who come before you. You have to learn from their mistakes. You have to have the ability to look at the mistakes that people have made, and you have to say, you know what? That didn't work for them. It's not going to work for me, right? And when I say mistakes, I'm speaking on things that do not work, not things of taking a chance it might work for me because they just didn't do it right. No, live in reality. See, one of the reasons why I was able to move on with my life and better my life and really be in the position I'm in, that's because I was able, right? And I had the ability to learn from other people's mistakes. When I was in the streets and I'm hanging with this dude, that dude, and I started seeing people going to jail for a very long time. I started seeing people make a lot of money, but never do nothing with the money. Always go to jail with the money, or always start dealing with some woman and get swindled out of the money, or just blow all the money. I was able to look at the dope game and look at those who was in the dope game, such as friends, even things that I see on TV, social media, right, the news. I was able to look at that and say, you know what? It's not going to work for me. Once I start seeing people doing 20, 30, 40 years in prison, started seeing those who had millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, and still going to go do 20, 30, 40 years, I was able to live in reality and say, you know what? That's not going to work for me. I don't have nowhere near a million dollars. So I can only imagine what the system is going to do to me. If he had 50,000 or 100,000, or he had $1 million or 10 million or $100 million, and they still threw the book at him, and they still gave him 30 years, what do I think they gonna do to me? Mistake. I learned from it. When I started to see people grow older and not build their credit, right? And I started to see people struggle financially. And I started to see things like, well, if you had credit at this point in your life, then you can do A, B, and C. But you don't have it, so you can't do A, B, and C. I was able to look at that and say, you know what? There was a mistake that they made, so I need to make sure I don't make that mistake. I need to make sure that I build my credit, right? I need to make sure that I'm on top of my bills, right? I'm on top of my responsibility and making sure that I'm getting those things done, right? See, success is not as hard as people make it out to be. What is hard is people living in reality and people understanding, listen, You don't have to make the same mistake as that person made for you to learn from it. That's one of the most beautiful things about life. That's almost like a cheat code, right? We can sit back and watch somebody else go through trials and tribulations and go through the ups and downs and don't win from it. And then we can say, you know what? I'm not going to do that. And then some people say they're still going to do that and take their chances. You know, when you live in reality, you got to say, hey, listen, man, selling dope, it wasn't it. It's not it. I don't care how smart you think you are. It's not the way. You're not going to win, right? Stop thinking that, well, he did it wrong. She did it wrong. Well, he was with the wrong group of people. He served the police. Stop making all these excuses in your mind that get you thinking that the mistakes that you can learn from, that get you thinking you can't learn from those mistakes. Stop thinking that their mistakes is only their mistakes. No, the mistakes they made was not just for them. It's for all of us, right? When I see my family, people in my family live a certain type of life, and then when all the smoke clear and I see certain individuals really didn't get ahead by living a certain type of life, right? I was able to say, if they didn't get ahead living that life, why would I live that life and take my chances and then end up the same way that they end up? Absolutely not. See, we can have generational wealth, or we can have generational brokenness, or we can have generational stupidity, or we can have generational uneducated minds. Those who are able, and I'm going to keep saying this, those who are able to learn from other people's mistakes will win in life. It's not that I think I'm better than anybody. It's not that I think that I'm smarter than anybody else. But I tell you what I am, and what I do is I learn from other people's mistakes. Once I see that person fail doing that, ain't no need me trying it. You done already failed. Once I see you going to jail doing that, ain't no need me going to jail. You done already went to jail. Right? So the same way we have the ability to learn from other people's mistakes, we also have the ability to learn from other people's success. When you see people living a great life, when you see people prospering from the things they're doing, and I'm talking about the right way, the same energy that you put into watching a drug dealer, and do you want to be a drug dealer, so you emulate that and you do the same exact thing as the drug dealer because you want to live like the drug dealer. Yeah, when you see people working a job and you see they being successful, when you see people opening businesses and you see they are being successful, when you see people living a life of righteousness and prosperity and you see them being successful, right? You need to do the same thing. Emulate the same thing that they doing, but do it your way and become successful. That's all. That's one of my gifts. I'm able to sit back, analyze. Oh, that's what you're doing. That's how you winning. Let me do the same thing, but my way. Right? I'm able to look at both good and bad and say, that's how you win and that's how you lose. When I see my friends doing dope, drinking alcohol, it's not benefiting their life. They stand in foolishness, not really getting ahead in life. Then I told myself, there's no need for me to do dope. When I seen certain people in my family do drugs and get hooked on drugs, and then people ask me, why don't I drink? Why don't I smoke? Because I seen family members do that for 20, 30 years and get absolutely nothing. So why would I do the same exact thing that I seen people do for 10, 20, 30 years and get nothing? I don't want to end up with nothing, right? You know, I want to have things in this life. I want to live a beautiful life with my family, with my kids. You hear me? I don't want to go through this life struggling. I'm not going to go through this life struggling because I'm able to look at certain individuals and learn from their mistakes and also learn from their success. So I'm making this video because I need you guys to wake up and get a awakening and live in reality. You are not slow. You are not retarded. You know the things that will lead you to success. And you also know the things that's going to lead you to becoming unsuccessful. It's all about, do you want to learn from people's mistakes? And if you do not learn from people's mistakes, then you're going to roll the dice and you're not going to win because millions of people have already tried it before you. Right? When I see 300,000 black men incarcerated for selling drugs, why would I be the 300,001 black man to go to jail for selling dope? It's not that I have an issue with people who sell drugs. It's not that I don't like people who sell drugs. The issue is learn from the mistakes. The white man is not the mistake. The mistake is we do not want to learn from those who come before us mistakes. All those boys in prisons, when they talk to the youth, they try to tell them, boy, I'm never going home. I'm in here for life. I've been here since I was 17, 16. I'm 60 now. Don't throw your life away. You got to learn from your mistake. Put the guns down. Stop getting. When you listen to the gangbangers who tell you they doing life, they never coming home, they done been in jail for 20, 30, 40 years, 50 years, they try to tell you, learn from their mistakes. If you see your family members who didn't use credit, who didn't take financial literacy seriously, and they didn't become successful in that area, then guess what? As an individual, you got to say, I'm going to take credit seriously. I'm going to take financial literacy seriously. The things that you see people didn't take seriously and they didn't become successful in those areas, you have the ability to take that seriously. You have the ability to look at those areas and see where people have failed and people have made mistakes. You have the ability to correct those mistakes. So one thing that I did as a black man, I corrected the mistake of the generational curse. I'm not going to be a drug dealer. X that out. I'm not going to jail. X that out. I'm not going to be uneducated. X that out. I'm not going to run around and not save my money. X that out. I'm not going to just not build my credit. X that out. I'm not going to just not have properties, not have life insurance, not have things for my family. I X that out. Right? Learn from those who come before you's mistakes. When you see people are not becoming successful in a certain area, you need to remove yourself from that area. But the problem is we have as people, too many people are followers. Too many people want to do the same exact thing that they see everybody else is doing. People don't like Jordans. People just want to fit in. People really don't like Gucci, Prada. No, they just want to fit in. You hear me? Because you rather spend $250 on shoes and be broke. I'd rather go to Walmart and buy some $11 shoes and have $240 in my pocket. You got zero. Facts. I see people who overly spend on clothes and shoes and materialistic things. They have nothing. I've seen people, right? Some of my friends included, got every Jordan to come out. Nice outfits. They look good. You see them all the time. They look good. But they live with their mamas. They damn near 40. They don't have anything. No credit. No bank accounts. None of the real things in life that you need. And at the end of the day, I need you guys not to be tricked, right? Not to be tricked, but learn from other people's mistakes. So if you want to become successful, one of the easiest things you can do is learn from other people's mistakes. Learn from your mom's mistakes. Learn from your dad's mistakes. Learn from your grandparents, your friends, your cousins. Learn from all of those people's mistakes. If you want to open your business and you're trying to be a business person, then you need to follow people who are doing the same exact thing you are doing and learn from their mistakes so you don't have to make them. And you can become successful like that. But if you do not learn from other people's mistakes, you can become unsuccessful like that. So I want to thank y'all for tuning in to Reality Talks with Terrence, where we don't pick sides, we pick reality. And the reality is this. I pray you guys slow down and analyze everyone and everything around you and learn from the mistakes from the people who came before you. And if you do that, I promise you, you'll be successful. Peace.
Reality talks with T, where we don't pick sides. We pick reality.